So this is the new Tier 10 that's currently in testing for the Commonwealth line. It's described in-game as Year of Design, 1945, a sizable and seaworthy cruiser, and an advancement of an Australian design from the early 1920s. This warship featured increased displacement and a more extensive main battery of 12 203mm guns. In layout and style, she has much in common with the British County class of cruisers, and you can see this. You can see this instantly in her profile. Very, very similar to the County class, of which there are quite a few already in game. So, a County class clone, so to speak, with 203mm guns. In terms of armor layout, let's get the profile up. 25mm fore-end plating upper and lower. Auxiliary room armor plating of 32. The deck is 30. Side plating of 20mm. This is torpedo protection. There it is. An armor belt of 152. The County class-ish usually goes for twins. These are triple mounted turrets with very light armor, I might add. These are very lightly armored turrets. Frontal plate, top plate, side plate, all 25mm, including the rear plate, even the barbettes, 25mm barbettes. But in any case, that is the armor, and let's look at the Citadel itself. Athwart ship 51, torpedo bulkhead 38, and the deck on this is 38. The rear Athwart ship is also 51. Okay, so that ties in to the hit points, 51,800. Now, considering you get a crawling smokescreen with this, that's not too bad. 51,800 and 19% torpedo protection damage reduction. Now, I must add that 51,800. This is the build I'm using, reload mod. I have buffed the hit points. I have buffed this with survivability expert, and I've buffed the consumables. And when you come to survivability, you have this crawling smoke, you have a very good hydro, 3.5 and 5 kilometers, and you get 4 repair parties. So having the smoke, it would appear lightly armored, but having the smoke and a lot of heals and all these additional utility to counter submarines and destroyers, potentially quite nasty. Tie in decent main battery guns, 203mm, 12 of them, 4 of these triple mounted 2 fore and 2 aft, both super firing turrets, 9.2 second reload. They can rotate 180 degrees in 30 seconds, not the quickest 203 guns, 203mm turrets. But a decent range, 18.5 kilometers in range. The smoke firing penalty is actually not bad. It's not bad. I've already taken this out. The smoke firing penalty is 7.3. 7.3 kilometers. So it's not that bad. It's actually quite good for 203mm guns. So you get high explosive, 2950 max damage, 20% fire chance. You have 34mm of pen, which is nice. You're going to hurt a lot of battleships. Shell speed 841 meters per second, and the armor piercing 4,350 with the same shell speed, 841 meters per second. Quite decent. Secondary battery, you get 6 of these twin-mounted 102s, 12 of them in total, 6 twin-mounted turrets, 3 on each side, both port and starboard side. High explosive, 1500 max damage, 2.7 second reload, only 17 millimeters of pen, so you won't be penetrating DDs, but they have a 7% fire chance and a shell speed of 811 meters per second. Torps. This ship also gets torpedoes. Is there anything that this ship does not get? You get 2 X4 torpedo launchers. Really good range, 13.5 kilometers in range, decent damage, decent torp speed, and good concealment. This Cerberus gets really good torpedoes. 13.5 kilometers range, over 16,000 max damage, decent speed, 65 knots, and 1.3 kilometer concealment. So stealthy, decent speed, decent damage, and these are, when you consider 13.5 kilometers in range and a concealment of 10 kilometers, you can easily just torp and turn and torp again. Easily, without ever being detected. If you're anything 11, 12, 13, even targets that are 14, 15 kilometers away from you and coming forward, you can torp them easily. Okay, we have looked at the torpedoes. These airstrikes, they are the depth charge airstrike. Some of the best airstrikes in the game, I might add. 11 kilometers in range. 3 attack flights. 1 aircraft per a flight with 2 bombs. And these bombs have a max damage of 3,900. And a 30-second reload. So what you can basically do is you can drop one of these like every 10 seconds basically. And keep firing them. Which is, for a submarine, is potentially deadly. If you're able to track it and drop one every 10 seconds, then you're going to be incredibly dangerous against enemy submarines. If you get spotted in a sub within the operational range of this ship, you're in trouble. You're going to have real issues. I can envision real issues trying to get around and deal with this ship, because not only does it have the crawling smoke, but it also has that radar that will detect them right down to max depth, which is incredibly perilous for a submarine. So finally we're going to see levels of counterplay for submarines, and this is good. I am a big believer in counterplay, huge believer in counterplay. It's an integral part of any kind of PvP game. That if you play your ship correctly and you use your knowledge of the game, that you can deal with enemy players. So this is good. AA defense. 16 of these twin-mounted Oerlikons. 32 of these 20mm guns in total. 8 of these, sextuple launchers. Guns, I mean to say. 8 sextuple 40mm spread around. So this is another 48 40mm guns, and then the secondary battery, these 6 twin-mounted 102s, are dual purpose. Secondary battery, dual purpose. We get 278 continuous, which is not great. Can we get back to here? 278, and the majority of this is obviously spread between medium and short range. 4 shell explosions per flak salvo, 1400, 50% reinforcement priority sector, and a firing range of 5.8 kilometers. In terms of maneuverability, I do have a speed flag on. Base speed is 34, 35.7 with the speed flag, 790 meters, and 11 seconds. So pretty decent. And then really good concealment. Really good concealment. 10 kilometers is excellent at tier 10. And then when you add in the fact that your smoke firing penalty is quite low, 7.3 kilometers, it's pretty decent. It's what you love about the game. Yeah, I mean, some of the ships look fantastic. They really do. I agree.